Hi Aries, welcome to February. This is Teresa from Tarot by T, and happy Valentine's Day. And before I get started on your reading, I want to call in some good energy. And I want to say thank you everyone who has been supporting this channel. Thank you for watching, thank you for liking, subscribing. If you're new, welcome. And for those who have left comments, I really enjoy reading all the comments. And thank you for those who have ordered readings. I have enjoyed working with all of you. So let's see what's coming up for February. I think we get a break in February from all the intense energy. We have a new moon in Aquarius, which is being supported by Jupiter. And that'll be on February 4th. And then on February 19th, we have a full moon in Virgo, which is trined by Mars, or it's trining Mars, I should say. So it's whatever we start in February comes to culmination at the full moon. And it's time to take action. You know, these full moons we've had, they're all starting at the 0 degree. It's really incredible, like one after the other. Usually, you know, full moons represent endings, but I feel like we're in this transition period where we're clearing out the old and getting ready for a new beginning. So even though a full moon usually represents an ending, it will also be a beginning of a new path. So whatever you're letting go, whatever you're completing, whatever you're letting go of, whatever is no longer, you know, is coming to an end, it's not just an end and that's it. You know, you're ready. It's like an ending and a new beginning at the same time. And with Mars in Taurus, for Aries, well, I'll get to it when I get to the astrology, but it's going to be taking action to go after what you really value. So let's see what's coming up. I'm making this a love reading for the month of February because of Valentine's. So what does Aries need to know about love and relationship for the month of February? What does Aries need to know about love? Either partners that for those who are in a relationship, or for those who are single and looking for a relationship. What is coming up for Aries? May only the highest forces be present, so that the truth be told. What is coming up for the month of February for Aries? What does Aries need to know? Okay. Nine of Pentacles. Four of Cups. Page of Swords. The Ace of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles, the Ten of Swords, the Eight of Wands, the Two of Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles, and the Ten of Wands. Okay, so for Aries, you are definitely ending something. You have these two tens here. So the Nine of Pentacles, let's start out with the present. The Nine of Pentacles is crossed by the Four of Cups. So with the Nine of Pentacles, you're feeling kind of lonely at the beginning of, like you have been focusing on career. And a lot of energy has been going into career. I'm not seeing that much love in this month for Aries. I think it's more about financial security and career success. So with the Nine of Pentacles, you may have achieved a certain amount of financial security, or at least you're, because the Nine of Pentacles represents someone who is enjoying their material comforts. They may have a nice house, they may have money in the bank, they may have a roof over their head, but they're feeling alone, and they want to share that with someone. They don't want to just be alone. They want to have a relationship. They want to be with someone. You have the Four of Cups here. So if you're in a relationship, you may feel like you're not being valued, or you're not being appreciated, and you're feeling bored. So maybe it was once good, but now it's kind of like flat. And you may be thinking, maybe I should see what's out there. Something may be offered to you, maybe love is being offered to you, but for some reason you're not interested. It's not what you want. So you're sitting here thinking, do I want to accept this cup of love? Or do I want to keep looking? Because it's just not, it's like there could be someone around you that cares about you, that loves you. There are people, but it's not the love that you want. It's not what you're looking for. It's not satisfying you. So you're sitting on the fence thinking, you know, maybe there's got to be something else. This could also represent a situation, if you're in a career situation and you're not in a relationship, that you're feeling bored in your current job and you're just bored, but you're not really ready to move on. You're just kind of checking out what's going on. You know, you're kind of checking to see what's out there. And if something good comes up, you might be interested in switching. But right now you're kind of comfortable, even though you're bored and you're not totally happy in your present situation. But you do want to see what's out there. But you haven't really made that decision right at this present time to make that change, to make that move. You're just contemplating. In the past, you have the Page of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles. So the Page of Swords usually represents looking into something very deeply. So if something's been offered to you, whether it's love or a job opportunity, you need to really, either you're being checked out, like if you've gone on an interview or something, they're really checking all your references, they're checking all everything about you and other people. They're being really discriminating. Or this could also represent spying and gossip. So you may have heard some news, I don't know, either someone's gossiping about you or spying, or you may have had to have a difficult conversation with someone. Maybe if you're in a relationship and you're not happy, you've had to talk about it, you know, what's wrong in the relationship, how you'd like to see things change. Because this is a card of communication. But it's a difficult communication. It also can represent being involved with someone who can represent a challenge. That you're dealing with someone who's a challenge. They're not easy to deal with. They could be a little rebellious or difficult. In any case, this is a card that's saying, before you make any moves, because Aries is... Aries likes to, doesn't have a lot of patience sometimes. You just want to jump into something because you're so frustrated. You get frustrated, like, I'm bored, I'm stagnating, I need to do something. And so this is a card that's saying, before you jump, just really look deeply into what's being offered to you. And make sure it's what you really want before you take action. Now, the Ace of Pentacles in the recent past, there could be a job. You might have been offered a job opportunity or an opportunity to make money. Because the Pentacles are about financial security, tangible assets. So you could be thinking, like, how can I make more money? How can I bring more money into my life? And you may have been planting seeds. You might have had some type of career success, some type of job offer. And maybe you're still just trying to decide, like, do I want to take it or not? And even if you have accepted the offer, with the Nine of Pentacles, you might be saying, okay, so I've gotten this job, I'm making more money. Now I want to focus on love. I want to find a relationship. But I'm not seeing that that's happening just yet this month. But I do know that you are ending a cycle. Now you have the Seven of Pentacles here. This is a card of planting seeds. So I think February for you will be a month of culmination. You're finishing something up because you have this Ten of Swords here. Something's coming to an end. You have these two tens. The Ten of Swords is like you've been spending a lot of energy on something, and if it hasn't been bearing fruit, if it hasn't been giving you what you need, whether it's a relationship or a career situation, it's time to drop it with the Ten of Swords. It's time for you to say, you know what? I need to focus on something else. I need to focus my energy on something more productive because this is not going anywhere. And you have to look at it realistically and just realize, like, something, you know, this is ending. Something is ending, and you have to let it go. At the same time, with the Seven of Pentacles, you're planting seeds. So something ends, and you're planting seeds for a new beginning. That's not really happening in February. It may happen later, but you're planting seeds for a new start. You have the Ace of Wands here in your negative thinking sector. So the Ace tells me that there are opportunities coming up. There are going to be opportunities or options for you. This could be the journey. This could be a journey by air, arrows of love. You could meet someone and suddenly have feelings for that person, or you could get messages, unexpected messages, opportunities. But it's in your negative thinking sector, so you're doubting that anything good is going to happen. You're just focused on the tens, the endings. But you have to admit, you know, you have to end something before you, and take your energy back so that you could put it into good use and leave and have room for new beginnings. You can't just, you know, if you're overwhelmed with too much, you can't really create prosperity. You can't create growth and change because you have too many things going on that's draining your energy. So if there's a relationship or a job or a situation that's been draining your energy, the Ten of Swords can mean that it's coming to an end. That you finally decided, I can go no more. I just can't give anymore. I've given as much as I possibly can, and I need to let it go. The good news is that there are new opportunities that are going to come after this ending. So to keep the faith, don't think like, oh, this has ended and now I've got nothing and I'm lonely and depressed. No, don't. Because the Eight of Wands means things are going to start to happen. As soon as you let go of the draining relationship or the draining career path or whatever it is that's been taking up your time and not giving back to you, you're going to start to see some new growth in a new area. The Two of Pentacles is in your environment. So you're juggling a lot. You might be working two jobs. If you have a relationship, you might be dating two people. For some of you that are not in a committed partnership, you're just busy. You've been keeping, and you're overloaded. You got this Ten of Wands here, where you're carrying this heavy workload. You're carrying this heavy burden. So if you're in a relationship, you may feel like you're the only one doing the work. Or if you're at a job, you may feel like you have a lot of responsibility, or you're the sole breadwinner for your family, and you feel like, you know, there's no one helping you. You're just doing it all by yourself, and you're overwhelmed. And the Two of Pentacles can sometimes mean, you know, you're trying to hold it all together, and you're trying to avoid your emotions. You know, you're pretending everything's okay, like I'm keeping it together, everything's okay. But on the inside, you're not letting people know what you're really feeling. And it may be that you're not happy with a certain situation. And that's why this Ten of Swords is coming to tell you it's okay to stop giving to something that's not giving back. Now, for those of you who are in good relationships, this is not for you, this message. But if you're in a relationship or a career where you feel like you're putting all the work in and you're getting nothing back, it's time to focus your energy in a new place. And you even have the Six of Pentacles, which is a card of giving. You know, there's an imbalance in a relationship. One person's doing all the giving, and another person is just taking and not giving back. But this is all coming to an end. You have this Ten of Wands, so your burdens And this difficult time is going to be ending in February. It may have even ended with the eclipses that we had in January, because those were powerful agents of change. But even if it hasn't happened, sometimes with the eclipse, it'll happen a month later. So it could be happening in February if it didn't happen in January. And sometimes the eclipse energy lasts for 6 months. So you could be in a process. You know, sometimes things take time to end, you know, especially if it's like a marriage. You know, you have to divide property, you have to decide, you know, who gets what, and, you know, there's all kinds of details. And it's not like, you know, sometimes you don't just make a clean break. But I can tell you that your burdens are ending, that the worst is over with the Ten of Swords. When you get to the Ten of Swords, you're at the end of the cycle. So you can only go up from there. And if you look at this card, you can't really tell, but there's like a little bit of a sun, there's like a light at the horizon. So there's a sun that wants to rise. There's a new day dawning. But before you can experience that new day, you have to admit, you have to release the old cycle. You have to admit, okay, this is done. This cycle is done. This relationship, this job, the situation that I've been devoting a lot of time, I have to let go. And I have to clear things out so that I can allow this new day to begin. So I can allow this new beginning to come into my existence, my realm, my energy. So let's see what the astrology has to say for Aries. So the new moon's on the 4th. It's going to be 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it happens in your 11th house. And this new moon is conjunct Mercury. So communication is going to be important. And the 11th house is the house of friendships, the groups you belong to, the hopes and wishes. So you have an opportunity to have a new beginning. Maybe you're meeting new friends, or you're joining new groups of people. This moon is supported by Jupiter. And Jupiter's in the 9th house, in Sagittarius. So you could be thinking about teaching, or learning, or even going back to school, because the 9th house is higher education. For some of you, it could even mean dealing with people from a distance, like a foreign country or global, you know, connections. And the thing that's interesting about this new moon is Saturn and Neptune are sextile each other. You know, Saturn's in Capricorn, Neptune's in Pisces, and this new moon in Aquarius is right in the middle. It's at the midpoint between Saturn and Neptune. So what this means, and plus it's being supported by Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of luck and expansion. So the good thing about Saturn and Neptune being sextile is that they balance each other out, because they're each on two sides of the pole. Like Saturn represents reality, the physical world. Neptune represents the dream state. What we wish, you know, our wishes, our hopes, our dreams, what we want to achieve. It's the non-physical, but it's not physical. So you can conjure up, you know, before you can manifest something, before you can build something, you have to have a blueprint. You have to have an idea. You have to have a dream. And that's Neptune. Neptune is the dream, the vision. And Saturn is the practical application that brings it into reality. Saturn is the work you have to do to manifest. So if you can balance these two energies, you can create a dream. You can make it real. And it's happening in your 11th house with Mercury. So communication, Mercury represents communication and also your thinking processes. And it's in Aquarius. So for you to manifest a dream, you have to think outside the box. You have to communicate in a new way. You may be getting inspired ideas at this time with this new moon. This is a great month for a new beginning. So if you're trying to make a new start somewhere in your life, now is the time to do it. Because you're being supported by the universe. Venus moved into Capricorn And it's trining Uranus, so anything can happen. Now, Venus in Capricorn is not a very warm and fuzzy place. Venus is not really happy in Capricorn because Venus is all about love, and Capricorn's kind of got a cold, reserved energy. So it doesn't work well with the energy of Venus. But one thing it will do, it will help you to see things realistically. Venus is very, in Capricorn is very practical. You're not gonna, you're gonna look at the people that you love with clear eyes. Look at them realistically. It can bring a more stable partner. If you do have a love interest, it'll be someone who's more grounded. Maybe not as exciting, but someone who will be there and be loyal. Venus is trine Uranus, so anything can happen. You could, have a sudden relationship pop up out of nowhere. Uranus is at 28 degrees Aries. It's in your sign. This is like the last, Uranus is going to be moving into Taurus. So this is the last hurrah for Uranus in Aries. So if you haven't freed yourself from something in these past 7 years, now's the time to do it. Now's the time. It's like your last chance to break free, because you have this Uranus supporting you to become your true self, your authentic self. And Venus is also square Chiron, and Chiron's at the 29th degree. So that's it's a critical degree in astrology. It means it's ending the cycle. And Chiron in Pisces, Chiron's the wounded healer. Maybe there are wounds in love that you need to heal before you move on to the next relationship. Maybe there are conversations and closures that you need to have before you're ready to move on. Maybe you need to release the past and past pain so that you can embrace the new. That could be another thing that happens around this time. So yeah, it's time to take a realistic view about love and loving. How do I give love? How do I receive love? Am I receiving what I need? What do I need to do? What practical steps can I take to bring more love into my life? These are the questions. So now with the full moon in Virgo, this is happening. The moon's in Virgo and the sun's in Pisces, and this is activating your 6th and 12th houses, which is the house of the 6th house is the house of work, like your day-to-day work environment. It's the house of health. It's the house of service, sacrifice. And the 12th is the house of hospitals, institutions, psychological blocks, karma. So something is coming to completion. You might be completing a karmic cycle at this full moon. Maybe I feel like you were in a relationship where there was an imbalance in the service. Like you might have been serving someone, sacrificing for something. It could also mean that you're coming to the end of a cycle. If there's some type of health issue, that might be coming to culmination. Or something that has to do with work. Something might be coming to completion. You might be completing a work project. Now, these moons are not, they don't have any really harsh aspects. So we get a break this month. But Mars is trining. Mars is trining the moon. Mars is in Taurus, and it's sextiling the sun. And it's in your 2nd house. So this is the house. At this full moon, you're going to be dealing with issues of self-worth. You're going to be thinking, am I getting what I deserve from life, from relationships? Am I putting too much, even my career, the work that I do? Am I being paid enough? What is my value? Am I being valued? And if the answer is no, Mars gives you the energy to take action, to bring more value into your life, to bring money if that's what you need for security, because the 2nd house is a house of security. It's also, they say it's the house of money, but really it's what you value. What do I value? And how can I bring more of what I value into my life? the other thing that's happening is really interesting. Mars is also conjunct Uranus, even though they're out of sign. Like Uranus is at the very tail end of Aries and Mars is at the very beginning of Taurus, but they're still considered a conjunction. So you've got this like energy. When Mars and Uranus come together, it could be very restless energy. So you want to be sure that you're not acting in haste. You know, like I said before, it's okay to act. Now's the time to act, but after careful consideration. Don't do anything reckless, because Mars and Uranus can be reckless energy. And you don't want to do something, you know, rush into something and then find out later, oh, I made a mistake. I acted too quickly. So you want to take your time and think about what you need to do. Okay, so Neptune is still sextile Saturn. But now, at this full moon, we have Mercury conjunct Neptune and Venus conjunct Saturn. So if you're having any kind of relationship problems, the solution lies in communication. You have to talk. You have to share your ideas. You have to share your dreams. You have to share your feelings, your hurts. If someone has like disappointed you, you need to talk about it. And you can maybe patch things up. Or at least talk about it where you come to some type of closure. Don't leave things hanging up in the air. Mars is giving you the energy to take action. Mercury is helping your... Well, Mercury conjunct Neptune, you have to be careful with communication this month. Because Mercury, at the full moon especially, it can bring confusion. It can, you know, you can be listening to someone's story. On the positive side, it can make you very creative in the storytelling. On the negative, it could mean lying or exaggerating. Or confusion, like you're trying to explain something and nobody understands you, you know. So you want to make sure that you're clear in your communication, that you're specific, that you ask specifically what you want. Don't expect people to read your mind. And in love, Venus conjunct Saturn is not a very happy, you know, you're going to see the reality by the full moon in all your relationships. And when it comes, and Venus also represents money. So if there's a money issue or financial issue, you're going to see the truth about that too. And what Venus conjunct Saturn is saying, okay, no more pie in the sky, you know, fantasies. You have to do something practical. You have to take a realistic view of your finances and a realistic view of your love life. And take action and do the work. Nothing's going to drop out of the sky. Because Saturn rewards hard work. Saturn rewards dedication, discipline, commitment. So that's the theme. That's the theme. And for you, Venus is in your 10th house. Where's Saturn? And with Saturn. And the 12th house is also being activated by Mercury and Neptune. So career, your standing in life, your career is important. But also, the 10th house represents your status in life. So if you're ending a relationship, you could go from married to single or single to married, you know. You're ending a cycle and you're getting ready to start a new cycle. And the 12th house is also a time of releasing, of clearing out, you know, delving deep. It would be a good time, because Mercury conjunct Neptune in the 12th house would be a good time to go into therapy and talk about all these deep feelings or the things that you've kept inside for so long. That will help you to release the cycle that's ending and to have closure. I think that's what you need this month. You need closure so that you could be free to start again. And release the baggage. Release whatever has been confusing you or misleading you. Like maybe your thinking has been confused. Maybe you're, you know, you were so sure you were right in a certain way and now you're seeing things differently, or you're not sure what to think. So you need guidance. So this would be a good time to talk to someone, you know, like a counselor, because the 12th house, you know, represents psychological issues. So great time for new beginnings. Great time to manifest a dream. A great time to clear out the old and get ready for this new. Because I don't think the new beginning is going to happen right now, but you can